I want to start off by addressing a rhetorical question raised by Councilmember Lewis at the last council meeting. She asked, maybe I'm just stupid. Well, council member, you're not. You're just the opposite. And ARPA is not a confusing program. It's one of the most straightforward, easy to understand federal programs there is. Every bit of confusion surrounding ARPA has been created by the city to prevent transparency and accountability for how they've allocated funds. The Treasury has provided over 400 pages of regulation on how funds can and cannot be spent, so there's no reason for any confusion. The city has allocated funds in a way that is explicitly not allowed based on the Treasury's written regulations, and now some members of the council are trying to provide cover for their wrongdoing. I also want to be clear that I'm not merely talking about a lack of transparency. I'm talking about deliberately misleading the public to discourage business owners from applying for funds they were eligible for under guidelines which still haven't been published. The guidelines in this advertisement that was published were not followed. These guidelines are far more restrictive than the ones used. The guidelines in this application that was given to business owners were not followed. Those guidelines are far more restrictive than the ones actually used. I've spoken to numerous business owners in town that did not apply because they did not qualify based on the public guidelines the city published. Although they do qualify based on the private guidelines the city used to approve this list of grant awards. Based on the loopholes in the Treasury regulations they used to approve certain applications, every business in downtown Los Angeles was eligible for $25,000, whether they were impacted by COVID or not. But they chose to disclose that information to only a select group of people while discouraging the rest of the public from applying. Until the city publishes the scoring system they use, they cannot say they are not discriminating against some businesses and favoring others. When you look at this list of grant recipients, you can see within 10 seconds why they don't want the public to see their scoring system. At the last meeting, it was stated that a report on this program would be premature because the city may have money coming back to them from businesses that don't comply, and that a letter would soon be sent to businesses for reporting purposes. First, I wanted to put it on record that I have not received that letter yet, so I do not believe a report will be coming in the timeline provided at the last meeting. Second, just like the city can recoup funds from businesses, the Treasury can recoup funds from the city for not following regulations. The disregard for Treasury regulations is creating a significant financial risk for the city and is putting millions of dollars at risk because this is not the only program that isn't following ARPA regulations. The city making the public wait for an explanation of the scoring system when we've already been waiting for 9 months is unreasonable. I'm again asking for a report at the next city council meeting that includes an explanation of the scoring system, the scores each business received, the amount of each individual grant award, the date of initial application, the date a determination was made, and the date the check was written. This is all public information bound by the California Public Records Act. And there's no reason it can't be included in the agenda packet, except for certain departments of the city and some members of the council wanting to keep the truth from the public.
All right.